Siberia, for most of us, that single word conjures one image: a vast, frozen wasteland at the edge of the world. A place of exile, a place of suffering. Endless white silence, bitter cold, and emptiness. We think we know what Siberia is. Someone leaves their car engine running at -70 degrees and goes into the store. If they turn it off, it might not start again. A few hundred kilometers away, someone is walking across a frozen lake. Beneath it lies 1/5 of the world's fresh water. A staggering fact few truly grasp. Further east, someone is walking through the desert. They're surrounded by taiga. That's what Siberia is like. On the same land, you'll find temperatures as low as -70 degrees and mud boiling in tropical heat. Frozen mammoths and active volcanoes. Deserts and glaciers. Science cities and 1,000-year-old nomadic camps. But how many of us truly know what lies beneath this harsh geography? The deep secrets, the pulse of life. The 1/5 of the world's freshwater reserves hidden within it. The truth is, almost none of us do. We have a name for this place. We think that name is enough. It isn't. From Oymyakon to Kamchatka, from Lake Baikal's ice caves to the colorful valleys of the Altai, there is a Siberia that has never been shown to you. A Siberia that defies every assumption you carry, the need to see it, to truly understand it, is what drives us forward. Siberia, sometimes freezing but never forgotten. Now, we're going there. Not to confirm what we already believe, but to break it apart, to step beyond our assumptions and see this legendary land with our own eyes. This is not just a journey across a map. It is a journey across everything we thought we knew. Oymyakon. On the map, it's just a tiny dot. Hidden among the Verkhoyansk Mountains. The mountains surround it like a climate barrier, keeping the warm air out and trapping the cold inside. When we arrived here, the cold introduced itself immediately. The lowest temperature ever recorded here is -71 degrees Celsius. Bare metal adheres to the skin. Engine shutdown risks irreversible failure. And yet, life continues. In the mornings, children go to school, wrapped in layers of fur with only their eyes visible. Stores are open, ice is cut and stored as water. Food is naturally preserved outdoors. There's no need for a refrigerator. Every single day in Oymyakon is in itself an act of adaptation. In Oymyakon, the cold isn't just a temperature, it's a way of life. The mountains surrounding Oymyakon stretch across northeastern Siberia. The winter sun never fully rises and never truly warms the land. The snow-covered peaks sometimes turn pink, sometimes gray. Here, the length of the day and weather conditions vary greatly. But for the people who live here, the cold is perfectly normal. It's a part of their lives. Located in northeastern Siberia, the Sakha Republic is larger than Argentina. The distances between cities are so great that traveling from one place to another can sometimes take days. That is, if there's a road. The region's capital is Yakutsk. Built entirely on permafrost, ground that has remained frozen for tens of thousands of years, extending hundreds of meters deep. At the open-air fish markets, frozen fish look like piles of rocks. Their scales have turned white. Their bodies are stiff as stone. In Yakutsk, the cold can never be hidden. The great abyss of a former diamond mine. At first glance, Mirny looks like an ordinary city. Apartment buildings, warehouses, streets laid out like a grid. But when you reach the edge of the city, the ground suddenly disappears. There's a pit here, about 525 meters deep and 1,200 meters wide. One of the largest man-made diamond mines in the world. Viewed from above, it looks like a funnel. A giant spiral winding its way deep into the earth. The diamonds mined here were shipped to every corner of the world. The mine is now closed. All that remains is this precipice. Stretching 4,400 kilometers. The Lena River flows through the heart of Siberia and empties into the Laptov Sea. It is one of the world's longest rivers. Throughout the summer, the Lena is like a vast open-air market. Cargo ships and barges are loaded with fuel, food, construction materials, and basic necessities. Almost everything the city needs arrives via this river. When winter arrives, the river's surface turns into a layer of ice hundreds of centimeters thick. So strong that trucks can drive across it. Along the banks of the Lena River lie rock pillars formed approximately 500 million years ago during the Cambrian period. Some exceed 100 meters in height. Some are as thin as needles, others as wide as columns. Viewed from a distance, they resemble the silhouette of a rocky city. The surface of each column is covered with layers of shifting seas, changing climates, and vanished ecosystems. When one contemplates formations this ancient, one loses oneself in the concept of time. In northeastern Siberia, a road winds through forests and steppes. The Kolyma Highway, approximately 2,000 kilometers long. Those driving along it follow unwritten rules. Never travel alone. Don't turn off the engine for too long. Don't abandon a vehicle that breaks down on the road. Here, mutual aid is not merely courtesy. It is an imperative for survival. We're heading east from the frozen silence of Kolyma. The Kamchatka Peninsula is a strip of land wedged between the Pacific Ocean and the Sea of Okhotsk. Reaching it by road is nearly impossible. Here, the Earth's crust is in constant, volatile motion. A powerful, visible force. Kamchatka lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire, a zone where tectonic plates collide, pressure is converted into heat, and magma from the depths forces its way to the surface. The result? Over 300 volcanoes. 29 of them are still active. When viewed from above, the surface appears to be boiling. Smoky cones, steam-shrouded valleys, and lava flows cascading down snow-capped peaks. Here, cold and fire are inextricably intertwined. Kamchatka's most striking silhouette is instantly recognizable. Klyuchevskaya Sopka. At over 4,750 meters, it stands as the highest active volcano in Siberia and Russia's non-European regions. Viewed from a distance, it looks almost as if it were drawn. A perfect cone. Symmetrical and sharp. Klyuchevskaya Sopka frequently erupts. The ash plumes sometimes reach the stratosphere. The smoke darkens the sky for days and drifts down to settlements hundreds of kilometers away. Deep within Kamchatka lies a valley accessible only by helicopter. One of the world's rarest natural wonders. Geyser Valley. When you first arrive, you get the sensation that the ground is breathing. Every now and then, columns of boiling water spout upward. Steam rises from narrow ravines. Mud boils in swampy pits. Cold water from the glaciers mixes with the boiling geyser pools. Ice and fire aren't just metaphors here. They are tangible, concurrent realities, creating a landscape unlike any other. And in the midst of this chaotic landscape, Kamchatka's brown bears live in their own world. Kamchatka is home to one of the densest populations of brown bears in the world. An adult male bear can weigh over 700 kilograms by late summer. Every year, in late summer, large schools of salmon from the Pacific arrive in Kamchatka's rivers. Millions of fish returning to the waters where they were born. Swimming upstream, driven by instinct. There are so many fish in the rivers that the water's surface is constantly in motion. The bears wait patiently in the rivers. The hunt is over in a short time. This chase continues again and again throughout the short summer, until the bears have stored enough fat for hibernation. The boundary between fire and the ocean. A chain of 56 islands south of Kamchatka stretches for approximately 1,300 kilometers between Russia and Japan over the Pacific. On Paramashir Island, Mount Ebeko smolders almost every day. Further south, on Atlasov Island, a single volcanic cone rises from the ocean, fire reaching directly from the water's surface into the sky. Life on the Kuril Islands is harsh. Supply ships arrive only when weather conditions permit, and storms can cut off the local community from the rest of the world for weeks at a time. We're heading toward the very tip of Siberia. Chukotka is Russia's easternmost point. The Arctic tundra spends most of the year frozen. Summers pass in the blink of an eye. Winter leaves the settlements in darkness for months on end. Chukotka often feels like the world's edge. Perhaps even the dawn of a new frontier waiting to be explored. Far above the Arctic Circle, in a place unreachable by roads or cities, lies the Putorana Plateau, one of Siberia's least known wonders. It's like another planet. A vast plateau of dark basalt rock stretches for hundreds of kilometers. Deep canyons cut through the surface. Waterfalls cascade down, some silently, others with a thunderous roar. Reaching the plateau requires either a helicopter or a hike lasting several days. Putorana is one of those hard-to-reach, rarely photographed places. And that is precisely why it remains honest. What's the last thing that comes to mind when you think of Siberia? Probably not a desert. But here, in the north of Zabaikalsky Krai, golden yellow sand dunes rise amid dense taiga forests, the Chara Sands. About 10 kilometers wide, surrounded by snow-capped peaks. Viewed from above, the sight feels almost surreal. Golden dunes nestled between taiga and snow-capped mountains. It resembles the Sahara or the Gobi, but here, in the heart of Siberia, a lake? Some places catch you off guard the moment you come upon them. Lake Baikal is one such place. Millions of years old. The world's deepest lake. 1,642 meters. The world's oldest lake. And on its own, it holds about 1/5 of all the freshwater reserves on the planet's surface. As you approach Baikal, the line between where the water ends and the sky begins becomes blurred. To truly understand Lake Baikal, you have to visit during the winter months. During the winter months, the surface of Lake Baikal freezes over. The ice is as transparent as glass, and the water beneath it is visible. Dark blue, sometimes with a greenish tint. And within this ice are trapped air bubbles, frozen in time, as if the lake itself had held its breath and then slowly exhaled. There are sharp, layered ice walls, natural formations reflecting a pale blue light from different angles. Viewed from a distance, they look like an abandoned city made of crystal. Amid the ice walls lie natural caves. As light passes through the ice, it shifts from blue to emerald green. The walls shimmer like painted glass. In the cold waters of Lake Baikal lives the world's only freshwater seal, the Nerpa. Hundreds of kilometers away from the ocean, in a closed lake. How did it get here? There are various theories. The Nerpa, Baikal's mysterious creature, is a story slowly written by evolution, just like the lake itself. Olkhon, the largest island in Lake Baikal. Dirt roads, rolling hills, and small villages dotted with wooden houses bleached white by the wind and sun. For the Buryat people, this island is the spiritual heart of Lake Baikal. a place where nature and faith are inextricably intertwined, where the island's very soil is considered sacred. On the island's western shore, a rocky promontory juts out over the water. Birken Cape. In winter, when Lake Baikal is completely frozen, Birken Cape appears even more striking, standing alone amidst the whiteness. Along the dirt roads leading to Verkhoyansk, blue, white, and yellow prayer ribbons flutter from wooden poles. Each ribbon carries a meaning, a wish for healing, gratitude, or a prayer for peace. To the east of southern Lake Baikal lies the steppe of Buryatia, where Orthodox churches and Buddhist temples stand side by side. The capital, Ulan-Ude, embodies this contrast within a single city. Two different faiths and two different worldviews coexist here. And this duality reflects the overall character of Siberia. A landscape where opposites can coexist and where a single narrative is never enough. Stretching far into western Siberia, well beyond the Arctic Circle, the Yamal Peninsula lies beneath the ice for most of the year. Temperatures drop as low as -50 degrees. For most people, this is an uninhabitable place. But for the Nenets, it is home. The Nenets move with the seasons. Following the reindeer migration, they travel hundreds of kilometers across Yamal. North in the summer, south in the winter. This migration calendar has been shaped by tens of thousands of years of experience. Reindeer are almost everything. Transportation, food, clothing, shelter. Stays are brief. Families take everything down, load it onto sleds, and set off, again and again. Because for the Nenets, movement is not displacement, it is life itself. Originally a small settlement of the Hanty-Mansiysk indigenous peoples, everything changed due to the region's oil reserves. And the small village transformed into Russia's Verkhoyansk black gold capital. Today, Hanty-Mansiysk is a modern city. Neon lights and contemporary architecture creating a striking contrast with the frozen taiga beyond. But step outside the city limits, and you'll still see hunters chasing reindeer through the snow. Heading south along the Pacific coast lies Sakhalin, a long island separated from the Siberian mainland. Approximately 1,000 kilometers long, densely forested, crisscrossed by mountains and rivers. The Aniva Lighthouse, perched on a desolate rocky outcrop at the southern tip of the island, gazes out into the distance. In the silence. Vladivostok, Siberia's gateway to the Pacific, founded in 1860. Today, Vladivostok is a city full of contrasts. European in architecture, Asian in flavors. Wooden buildings stand side by side with glass towers on the hilly streets. It is also the final stop on the Trans-Siberian Railway. 9,300 kilometers from Moscow, spanning 7 time zones. Forests, rivers, steppes, mountains, permafrost. And the railway leaves it all behind, ending at the shores of the Pacific. Vladivostok is both the beginning and the end of Siberia. The land ends here, and the ocean begins. And standing here, at the edge of it all, something becomes clear. Siberia was never what we thought it was. It is not one place. It is not one story. It is not one image. It is everything all at once. As you head west from Vladivostok, back into the heart of Siberia, the landscape changes once again. The tundra gives way to forest. The forest gives way to mountains, and the Altai Mountains, the backbone of Asia, are Siberia's most dramatic corner. There's a road leading to these mountains, the Chuya Highway, approximately 600 kilometers long, stretching all the way to the Mongolian border. Known as Russia's most beautiful road. Every turn reveals a new landscape. From the steppe to canyons, from canyons to alpine meadows, and from meadows to snow-capped peaks. Nestled among the mountains lay the Aktru Glacier. Approximately 8 kilometers long. A rumbling sound emanates from its depths. From time to time, the sounds of cracking echo through the valley. When you approach the cracks on the glacier's surface, the color emanating from within surprises you. Bright blue. The effects of global climate change are evident here as well. Aktru has been shrinking over the years. The time trapped within the ice is slowly being released. Hidden among the pine forests lies a small lake. Geyser Lake. Geothermal springs rise from its bottom. The lake's water has a hue rarely seen anywhere else in the world. a deep electric blue, sometimes turquoise, sometimes emerald. Hot geothermal water meets the melt water from the cold snow. And this convergence produces ever-changing colors and patterns. You leave Koya behind and begin climbing the road. The villages fade into the distance. The slope grows steeper. And at one point, you see the terrain suddenly drop off. Katonsky Pass. It's like a passage between two worlds. A plateau above, a valley below. Every turn takes your breath away. Looking down, you see the Kyzylchin River. When you reach the bottom of the valley, there is a deep silence. As you travel along the Kyzylchin River, you'll see strange shapes on the valley floor. The Occam mushroom rocks, slender rock stalks, 10 to 15 meters high, supporting disproportionately large, flat boulders on top. It's like nature's own sculpture garden. Formations like these can be found in the deserts of Utah, in Cappadocia. What makes this place unique is its setting. Surrounded by greenery, a cold, fast-flowing river. Lake Teletskoye, approximately 80 kilometers long and over 300 meters deep, is one of Siberia's deepest lakes. Fed by more than 70 rivers and streams. The locals call it the Little Baikal. The lake's water is dark, cold, and exceptionally clear. In the tales of the Altai people, guardian spirits dwell in its depths. West of Teletskoye, at the summit of the Altai Mountains, lies Beluga, the highest point in Siberia. It has two peaks, both exceeding 4,500 meters. Glaciers flow down both sides, feeding the Altai River. Shamans believe this mountain is a center where the sky meets the earth. In some traditions, Beluga is described as the gateway to the legendary Shambhala, the hidden realm of wisdom and peace. For centuries, those who have visited this place have not been just mountaineers. They have been people on a quest. The mountain itself does not speak, but visitors return with the answers they have discovered within themselves, amidst its silent grandeur. Below Beluga's white peaks, another surprise of the Altai awaits. The Kyzylchin Valley. The hills undulate like waves, red, orange, yellow, purple. Like fire in the early morning, pastel in the afternoon, and almost black in the evening twilight. When contrasted with the lush valleys and snow-capped mountains of the Altai, Kyzylchin feels like it's from another planet. This contrast actually encapsulates the essence of the entire Altai region. North of Kyzylchin, in the steppes of Siberia, lies a lake that looks ordinary from a distance. Verkhoyansk. As you get closer, the water gradually changes color. First pale pink, then dusty rose, and finally almost red. This color change is caused by pigments produced by small algae and shrimp species that live in the salty waters. Salt has been harvested here for centuries. The scenery here is unlike anywhere else. Tobolsk is one of Siberia's oldest cities. Founded in 1587, it served for a long time as Russia's gateway to the east. A city divided into two distinct worlds. Below, wooden houses and narrow streets. The ordinary flow of daily life. Above, the Cathedral of the Dormition of the Virgin, built in the 1680s, stands as Siberia's first stone church. On the banks of the Ob River lies a completely different kind of Siberia. Novosibirsk. Founded in 1893, it began as a temporary settlement until the railroad changed everything. The tracks brought people. People brought the city. The city brought industry, and industry brought growth. In just over a century, Novosibirsk has become Siberia's largest city. Nearly 1.6 million people. Akademgorodok, the heart of the city, is filled with research institutes, universities, and laboratories. Novosibirsk speaks not of Siberia's past, but of its future. And yet, none of this came without cost. The cost of this journey was abandoning the comfortable image of Siberia we carried with us. Letting go of the word we thought we understood. Every step along the way was an act of unlearning. Every location dismantled another assumption. To truly see this place, you have to be willing to surrender what you thought you knew. And that surrender, it turns out, is harder than any frozen road. This discovery had a price. Giving up the Siberia we knew from our armchairs and redefining this land in all its harshness and all its beauty. Every step was a way of breaking what we had memorized. Siberia is one of the clearest testaments to human resilience. From the school in Oymyakon that defies the cold to the Nenets' journeys with reindeer in Yamal. From the ice caves of Lake Baikal to the summit of Mount Beluga. What is won here, what is truly earned, is the right to see it whole. Siberia has geographical boundaries, but its stories are endless. In its frozen tundra, its steaming volcanoes, its crystal-clear glaciers, its sacred islands, and its cities of science, everywhere tells a different story. And now we return. Not physically, but in our minds, we go back to the beginning. Back to that single word, Siberia. Back to the image we held before we started. Do you still see that frozen wasteland? That place of exile? Look again. Vladivostok. Both the beginning and the end of Siberia. Is where the land meets the ocean. It is where everything we have learned circles back to its starting point. Except nothing is the same. The map is the same. We are not. Maybe one day you will travel through these lands. But until then, let Siberia remain in your memory not only as cold and unspoiled, but as something far larger than that word ever contained. Siberia's unique essence ensures it is never truly forgotten. Your understanding of it has changed, hasn't it? The cold, distant land you imagined at the beginning of this journey has revealed itself to be something alive. Resilient, breathtaking, and endlessly complex. This is the new balance. Siberia is no longer a place you merely know the name of. It is a place that has changed how you see the world. A place of contradictions that coexist. Of extremes that define each other. Of silence that speaks. That is the transformation. That is the journey. Join True Explorations as we uncover more global wonders. Your next journey awaits.